Hello and welcome to this Rivemont MicroCap Strategy monthly update for June 2022. My name is Matthew Martin and I'm a portfolio manager at Rivemont. Before we begin, I must mention that this presentation is for informational purposes only. This is not investment advice or recommendations, and if I talk about companies during the presentation, Rivemont may hold positions in these companies and may trade on them at any time without prior notice. So let's start with a snapshot of the fund as of June 30th, 2022. The fund had 13 million in assets under management, which is similar to last month. In terms of annualized returns since inception, the return was 7.9%, so it's slightly down from last month. So you can guess that we had a slightly negative return for June 2022. But in the context of the broader market, I think the fund performed very well because it was a very challenging month for the broader market in June. And then in terms of portfolio positions, we were at 26 at the end of the month. That's down 1 compared to last month. So we kept on executing what I was telling you about last month of reducing the number of positions that we own and concentrating into our highest conviction ideas. And in that regard, if we look at the top 5 holdings, it increased from 45% to 48% at the end of June. Now, in terms of investment strategy, first of all, I can say that the month of June was very, very quiet, unusually quiet actually. And I'll tell you a little bit about how the industry works in general in a more normal market. So let's say a microcap company wants to raise capital. They will typically go to an investment bank to help them raise the capital. And the investment bank works with a lot of institutional investors, and they reach out to those investors to ask them, are you interested in this financing opportunity at these terms? Do you want to meet the management team? Do you want to read the research from our analysts? So us as an institutional investor, we work with a lot of investment banks, and all these investment banks reach out to us for different deals, different companies that they want to present us. And in June, it was very, very quiet actually. We saw only a couple of new financing ideas compared to maybe 5 to 10 a week in a more normal time. And very, very few requests to meet management teams and things like that. So I think what that tells me is that the institutional investors in the investment banks have pretty much given up on the microcap sector for now. They're just not interested in taking the risks of investing in microcap companies at this point. So you might think that this is a negative, but actually I think it's a positive because the institutional money flows creates sometimes large inflows into the sector, which drive up prices a lot, and then when they want to get out, it drives prices down a lot. And I think that's what we saw in the last year or so. Now that the institutional money seems to be out of the sector, there's only one way it can go now. It's the money coming back in the sector eventually and driving prices up again. So I think for now it's a good sign that doesn't seem to be any institutional money left in the space because institutions can sell what they don't own. And then what do we do in a quiet period like we are in now? I think for us it's an opportunity to take a step back, reflect, and improve our investment strategy. So we can think about what did we do well, what should we improve, should we tweak our investment criteria a little bit, and also most importantly, we try to figure out how we will find the winners of the next bull market. Because typically the winners of the past bull market will not be the winners of the next one. So we're trying to figure out where are the best opportunities right now, where are the best prospects. And so that's the work we're doing right now. Now in terms of outlook, I mentioned it in the beginning, the market remains very challenging, especially in large caps. It's very volatile, lots of uncertainty at the macroeconomic level. But in terms of microcaps, we seem to have reached the floor in the last maybe month or two. And that's because, again, of the institutional money flows. So I think that's good. What I'm seeing right now, I think it's encouraging. It seems like we might have put a bottom here, but we'll see. I don't have a crystal ball. And then one thing that's interesting to note is that companies that release good news can experience significant stock price rebounds. I'll give you an example. We own a company in the portfolio. They published their financial results at the end of June, and the results were okay. I mean, they were good, but not spectacular. But what the company did is they provided financial guidance for next year. So essentially, it's the management team telling investors, here's what we think we can achieve in the next 12 months in terms of financial results. And this guidance that they provided was very good. And the market reacted very well, actually. On the day of the release, the stock went up about 70%. Kept going up the next day as well, and within a couple of days the stock had almost doubled. And if we looked at well, actually at the time we looked at our model, and our forecast for the following year was very similar to what the management team has provided as a guidance. So we knew the company was undervalued, and that's the case for many of the companies we own in the portfolio. But the market just needed some pieces of information was missing, and when management provided the information, suddenly the market just realized how undervalued it was, and it reacted accordingly. So we hope that for other portfolio holdings as well, when they release good news or good financial results, we would expect similar moves in other of our positions. So that's it for the update, a short update for a very quiet month. So thank you a lot for listening. If you want more information on our strategies, please visit the website rivemont.ca, and you can also reach out to me by email or phone. If you have any questions as well that you'd like me to answer in the future updates, please send them to me, and I'll talk to you next month.